Good evening and good afternoon for depending where you're from. Great. I'm really happy to see every one of you here. For those who don't know me, my name is JD. I'm the CEO here at Imprimo. Very excited to have this event today with UK Artists. We got Grace Newman with us today, which I'm quite excited to hear talk. A bit of background on what the event today on the agenda. So we'll have a quick introduction to give you an idea of what's Imprimo, what's UK Artists, and how we're slightly different. We'll go into a deeper dive a little bit later. We'll have a presentation talking about, for some of you who may have never sold your work online or looking to explore that, or looking to explore the avenue of selling your work in the UK. Maybe you're from somewhere else and you're interested. We'll go over some of these things. We'll have a virtual tour of Imprimo, and then we'll have a virtual tour of UK Artists, and then finally we'll end with the Q&A. So again, we'll give you a quick overview today. I know some people sometimes have some questions on what's the difference between the two of them. You'll see all that. If you have any questions in the meantime, enter in the chat section. We'll make sure we address all of your questions. I got my colleague Aiden on the call today, so he might answer some of your questions. If your questions are targeted to get Grace, we'll wait until the end to answer them. But yeah, any questions, please answer in the chat. We'll make sure we get to it. If we're not during the event, then at the end for sure. And one last time, quick reminder that if you're not on mute already, to go on mute. So that's the overview of the event for today. I'll start by introducing a little bit about Imprimo, and then from there I will give a chance to Grace to come and tell us a little bit more about herself, about UK Online, and then we'll dive into our fireside chat. So when we built Imprimo, what was important to us, we looked at the different platform that was available for artists, and many platforms are doing a great job at especially on the marketplace side of things. But what we wanted to do is to create a platform, a social network where artists, collectors, galleries, and marketplace can come and interact, build connection, discover each other, and then be able to build their persistent, permanent presence online. And the idea was to kind of replicate something that we saw work very well in the business world, which is LinkedIn. Yet it doesn't really work for visual artists. They don't have jobs entitled. There's works and publications and exhibition and so on. So we wanted to adapt a social network that is built for creators, right? Where it's not videos and frequency of posts that makes you be at the top of their feed, but really have something where you can document your journey as an artist. You can manage your collection. You can manage your career with as little administration as possible, and then present yourself professionally. For many people, they see Imprimo as being able to replace their website. There's other artists who are seeing Imprimo as a way to enhance their website. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to build a community where on Imprimo, all the art ecosystem comes and interact with each other. So as we go, you'll learn a little bit more about Imprimo when we do our demo. But now I'd like to pass it to Grace. I think one of the biggest difference between Imprimo and UK Artists, and Grace will probably touch on this, is Imprimo is not a sales platform. We're not a marketplace. You'll see today how we coordinate the sale and how our two platforms can interact together, but you cannot sell per se on Imprimo. That's where our partners like UK Artists comes in, and they can help you with the sales aspect. We're more into helping you build your digital presence and document your journey. So with that, I'd open up to Grace. Love if you can come and tell us a little bit more about yourself, a little bit about UK Artists, and then we will dive into your periodic question.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm Grace. I live in Leamington in Warwickshire. I've got a family, a husband, 2 boys, and I've always loved art from a very young age. Never thought about being an artist or anything, so had a career in dressmaking, and so I was taking the kind of half like end sort of late 30s with lupus and kidney failure, so I couldn't work for a while. So I decided to go to college to learn how to paint, because that's something I'd always wanted to do. And then from there, I didn't want to do anything else, and took my degree and came out doing conceptual sculpture. So yeah, I'm an artist in my own right. And then now I'm founder of UK Artists, and involved a lot with that, very hands-on. yeah, with UK artists.
Great.
Yeah. Do you want me to carry on saying a little bit
Yeah.
more about
Tell
UK?
us a little bit more about UK artists, and then we'll dive into your question, because some of you I know are familiar with it, but some other people that I know on the call may not be as familiar. So you want to kind of highlight a few things before we dive into this?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, mainly yeah, as I say, I'm very hands-on. I like to do the correspondence with the artists. I like to get to know them, and also our customers. I think you know, customer relations is very, very important. So yeah, we specialize mainly for the UK art market. I mean, we do, you know, have links, you know, with other countries, which is great. You know, it's nice to have that. But yeah, mainly we're for the UK market. Most of our customers, I would think, are from just ordinary people, homeowners, yeah, and like people doing buy to let as well. Yeah, people, especially if they're decorating, they like a nice piece of art on the wall. I think that's our main customer base. And also they buy for gifts as well. Yeah, yeah. So interior designers as well. You know, we get a lot of those. Only the other week we had Omaze. You may not have heard of that, JD, but in the UK, probably seen their adverts where you can win a house, and they're fantastic houses. And yeah, they contacted us, and yeah, we helped them find an artist to, you know, give them work to furnish, you know, some rooms in this house. So yeah, that was really good. And we also get collectors, so you know, people looking to invest, you know, in higher end. So yeah, we've got quite a wide, you know, range of work on the site, which is what we like. Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So why don't we dive a little bit more into the questions? And, you know, I'll lead with my first question. You mentioned that you were an artist before founding UK Artists.
Yeah.
What inspired you to launch this online art gallery / marketplace?
Well, it wasn't really anything I just suddenly woke up and decided I was going to do that. It was quite a natural progression, really. Yeah, so after I graduated, you know, I kept in touch with fellow graduates, and we exhibited together, had a little group called The Edge. And, you know, artists didn't have websites then, you know, there was nothing like that around. You know, they weren't kind of independent online at all, but I thought I'd have a go at make a little website for us and our work. So I did that with the help of my boys, you know, because kids are great on computers, and a program called Dreamweaver. Yeah, so I called that Warwickshire Artists because then lots more artists wanted to join, and it got quite big, and it just kept growing. So eventually I decided to invest in, you know, a really good website. Yeah, and it was well worth it. And, you know, now I'm, you know, UK wide, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I won't be going any further than that. UK is, yeah, love, yeah, promoting to the UK market.
Yeah. Well, I think specializing in a specific market has certainly proven to be a success formula. So for those of the artists here who may not know as much about UK artists, is there anything you specialize in? Like you told us about, you have a variety of customers, from people who are looking to just kind of have decoration on their house, you know, to interior designer, to the other end of the spectrum with collectors are looking for more investment grade pieces. Is there some things that you specialize in that, you know, artists saying, hey, if I'm a sculptor, like this is the place to be, or you get a more diverse on what you're looking for?
No, not really. The main thing really is that the art is of good quality. You know, that is what we're about, really. You know, being a platform for, you know, professional artists, really.
Mm-hmm. Great. So I'm assuming that there is a vetting process for the artist that comes on UK Artists.
Yes, yeah, yeah. We look at individual artists as they apply. You know, if they fill out the form online, we can see their work. They can, you know, kind of add links to their website, and we have a look at their social media. We have a good look at what they're about. Yeah, so I mean, if they're already an established artist, then, you know, it's a no-brainer. We'd love to have them on the site. Yeah, so yeah, we can usually tell if an artist is a beginner or not quite developed their work. You know, that's quite easy. Yeah, we do kind of refuse them, really.
Makes sense.
But, you know, they don't need formal. There's no criteria for formal training. Yeah, it doesn't matter if artists are self-taught. That's absolutely fine. You know, it's just the quality of the work, really. I mean, we don't always get it right, you know, and sometimes you'll take an artist on for a particular style, and then following year they're doing something completely different, so, which is fine, yeah. So yeah, I think as long as we, you know, try and keep the quality as high as we can, then that encourages other good artists, attracts them to the site as well.
Yeah, and I know that many of the artists, and especially the one we have on Imprimo, but I'm assuming that you must be facing that too. Many artists, you know, do not necessarily have a strong online presence, or may even have never even tried to sell a piece online. And I know for some of them, it is a little bit intimidating. They don't really know where to start, or so on. So if you had to give an artist, and whether they're new to building their online presence or they're new to selling online, you know, what advice would you give to these new artists who are looking to have success selling online?
Yeah, I mean, definitely have an online presence. You know, especially since the pandemic, because people are, you know, they're used to buying online now, and art's no different. People are, you know, very comfortable buying art online. So, you know, just need to start somewhere. You know, if you've never done it before, I would say an easy way, a quick and easy way, is to start with Google Maps. That might surprise, you know, some people, but Google is the main search engine, and the best way to get found is through Google. So if you right click on Google Maps, it says you can, you know, put your business on the map. So that is great for when you're starting out, finding local people, looking for a local artist, and then also, you know, you can hand deliver the work, so there's no problem with postage or anything that you're not used to. So, yeah, but after
There's some great advice.
So after that, I would then, you know, find an online art gallery or platform that's for you. Yeah, definitely do that next. Like you know, being on UK Artists and Imprimo. Yeah, because it's quite quick to do. It's easy to do. You know, there's no big website build for yourself. Yeah, and it's affordable. So yeah, definitely that will give you a good presence. You know, people looking for your type of work. But it is important, I think, to have your own website if you can. Yeah, just start off with it and develop it. There's free platforms like, is it WordPress? Yeah, they do, you know, free websites for artists. Yeah, so yeah, definitely do that. But I think the important thing there is to kind of make sure you're linking from one to the other, which is the great thing about the collaboration with UK Artists and Imprimo, that you know, there'll be links there, and that also increases your authority with Google. Yeah, most definitely. So that's a good way to grow. But there's also, if you don't want your own website, or as well, you can have a blog. Blogs are easy to do. Just write about different things that are happening in your artistic life. Yeah, make sure you get those keywords in there, you know, that are applied to your work. Yeah, and of course, these days, social media is really, really important.
Yeah.
So many people are on social media. So I think for artists, you know, Instagram and Facebook, they're the main two. You haven't got to be on there all the time. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but Being consistent, I think, is the key. You know,
Yeah.
decide when you're going to post and be consistent. Yeah, so there's also templates that can help with that. There's something called Canva, CANVA.com. So there's great templates there. You can even do like little videos and things like that using Canva. You can start off free with that. Recommend that. Yeah, definitely put keywords, again, your hashtags in your social media, especially with Instagram. Reach out to lots of buyers. Yeah, so, but another one, which people, you know, artists perhaps wouldn't think of it, is LinkedIn, because yeah, they're not just, it's not just for businesses, you know. You can attract great businesses who are looking for a piece of work for their workplace, but they're also people themselves, you know, and looking for art, you know, themselves. So it's a great place to be. YouTube as well, you know, if you've done any videos, definitely be on YouTube. But things don't happen overnight, you know. You've got to build it up gradually, try and get a good presence. The main thing really is to be active and be consistent, I think. But once you do start you know, getting buyers and people interested in your work, definitely build like a mailing list. You could be on like MailChimp. They start off free as well, and gradually build up a mailing list and post to them, let them know what you're doing. So I think the whole thing, it sounds like a lot, but I think if you just start off with one and then, you know, build up and get a great online presence, I think that's definitely the key, you know, to being seen and being found. Yeah.
I think you said a lot of great things there, and I think, you know, what I like, especially, is when you started, you talked about, you know, reaching local people and delivering peace on yourself and things like that. Like, you know, I agree with that. I think, you know, a lot of the intimidation of being online is how everything is out of your control a little bit, and then there's a lot of moving pieces, and it can be intimidating. And at the end of the day, you know, towards the end, you said the importance is to be consistent. To be consistent, you got to start by not being overwhelmed, right? By taking piece by piece and sticking to at first what you know, which is, you know, your local market, your normal people. Maybe you deliver a piece that triggers the ability to have, you know, repeated business or referrals and things like that, and really kind of starting local and then slowly building yourself a community, whether that is on, like you said, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, or you have your own mailing list. The importance is, you know, find a platform that makes sense for you, be consistent. We name a lot of tools like, you know, Canva, MailChimp, they can help you with this, but the key is really, you know, don't start too hard where you can't be consistent. It seems to be a mistake that a lot of people do. It just, like, they don't see the result right away, and then, you know, they're like, oh, this is not working. But in reality, a lot of these things takes time. So, you know, really, I personally, you know, I like what you said, focusing on local, you probably get results faster, and that gives you the ability to really work on your digital community over time, which will probably end up paying off, you know, on the long term, on a more ongoing basis. So what do you see as some of the main mistakes of some of the artists that, let's just talk about the ones that join your platform? I'm sure you're probably more familiar with that. Some of the mistakes that they make when they first start selling their work online?
Yeah, I think one mistake is not having good photography of their work. Yeah, I mean, you know, you need to have really good images, show your work off to its best, really. Yeah, if you can't do it yourself, yeah, hire somebody to do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that is one mistake that we see. Also, we see artists putting everything on the site. Always choose your best work or good work. Don't just put everything on. You know, so gives you, you know, a good presence, you know, showing you in your best light and your work. Yeah, so also another thing, don't underprice yourself. You know, even if you're just starting out, you know, you've spent time on your work. You know, you need to price it well. Yeah, because a lot of artists just don't charge enough when they first start. You know, and if their work's good, yeah, charge for it, make a profit. Yeah, definitely.
So talking about the price kind of leads into my next question. You know, for artists who are looking to have a higher price for their work, any specific advice that we should give them?
Yeah, well, one easy way of getting a good price is like to have different price points. I think like if you're a painter, you could have like open edition prints. You could have limited edition prints. Which you'll get more price for that, and then your originals will really stand out, and you can really price your originals for exactly what they're worth, all the effort you've put into them. And yeah, so if somebody loves your work and they can't quite afford the original, they can buy a print or something, and then they'll probably see it every day, and you've got a later customer who wants a piece of original then later on. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Yeah, so I think you need to present your work really well. I mean, I could show you an example if you like of one of our artists. Yeah, if I share my screen. So, can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see everything. Yeah.
Okay, right. So, if I do an example of Jill Bustamante, she's really good at presenting her work well. Yeah, so let's choose one of these. Oh, this one's sold. Let's choose another one. Oh, a lot of these are sold.
There was some at the bottom there. No. Oh, this one there's not. So
oh, there's one. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you can see she's got lots of different views of her work there. Yeah, so it's always good to have different views, like close-ups. There's a nice close-up. Show the sides. You can even show the back. Showing your signature is really good because that's important for collectors, especially. Show it on a wall. There's actually a few good apps that you can get to show your work, like in a room view, and there's so many different rooms you can choose from. Got a couple of examples here for you, suggestions. Canvy.com, so that's not Canva, it's Canvy, CANVY.com. Yeah, that's good. And another one, artroomsapp.com, that you can use. If you do sculpture, then they're not much use, but there is one called onlineviewingroom.com. Yeah, so that shows all around your sculpture. Yeah, so yeah, definitely do that.
And I think she had one more image. Do you mind clicking on it? The one of where she did the drawing, because I personally find that quite interesting. The in progress, I think, really brings to life the relationship that the artist has with the piece and their inspiration, and really brings more depth into the artwork.
That definitely does. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good to have like the story, isn't it, of the artwork, and which leads me on to having a good description. Here Jill's, she's, even though we've got the sizes and everything here, she's kind of put it in again here. She's also put in the inspiration for the work. Like she's told a story about what inspired her to paint it. So that's always good. And also you can put in the medium you've used, and the process of the work. So yeah, all these things, they do kind of make a good impression. Yeah.
So when we talked about, we talked earlier, you mentioned that, the artist needs to be approved. So, on Imprimo, you don't need to be approved. We just sign up, it's a platform, like I said, like LinkedIn, but on your end, it is you need to be approved to be able to sell your work on UK Artists. For artists who are looking to apply, can you kind of explain a little bit better, like what should they know how can they present themselves in a way to increase their chance of being approved, or what are the criteria that you jury the artist by?
Yeah, so there is a standard form on UK Artists for them to fill in. Yeah, so I mean, we welcome all styles. There isn't any style in particular we're looking for. Yeah, I think, again, quality is the thing. Yeah, and if you're already established, I think I have touched most of it on this, already, but we haven't really got any set criteria.
Got it.
Yeah, it is mainly just the quality of the work, to be honest. But do kind of put your website on there, and any social media sites, so we can have a good look and see what your work's about. Yeah.
Great. And we talked about having people come and deliver the piece in hands, but obviously some people may want to expand their reach, or not able to do that for a series of reasons. Can you take us through how the shipping process works once the piece is sold on UK Artists?
Okay, so we don't handle the shipping at UK Artists. So when the piece is sold, we contact the artist, and then they often have their own preferred shipping company. So yeah, I mean, if they need any help, we're always there to help, and we do it for them if they don't want to do it. But on the whole, most of them will want to do it themselves, and they just let us know then when it's on its way, and we pass the tracking number on to them if it's tracked. Yeah, so that's it really. Yeah.
And then, so you help the artist communicate with the buyer. Does this process happen? Like, does the buyer get directly in contact with the artist? Do you help facilitate that communication? How does that work?
Yeah, sometimes, but on the whole, we do tend to, stay in contact with the buyer ourselves. Yeah, but of course, and we encourage artists to put in with the work their cards, because of like data protection, we can't go giving away people's emails and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely put your card in. So if they want more of your work, then they've got your details. Yeah, definitely do that.
And what tools are available to help artists who are getting started on UK Artists?
Well, do you want me to? Shall I share the screen again, and I can kind of go through?
I think you will. So maybe we tackle that after, when you go over the different function of UK Artists, because I think that there is some value to show the checkout process and things like that. We always have a lot of questions, so maybe we post that to that time then, and maybe that's the best idea. So I think what we'd like to do now is show you a little bit about what Imprimo is, how it ties into UK Artists, then we'll pass it over back to you, Grace, to show us the platform, how it works, the different, especially the terminal, the communications with the buyers and so on, and then we'll open up to the room to ask more questions on anything that has to do with building an online presence, how to sell online, what you should know, how our UK Artists work, how Imprimo works, and so on. So again, thank you for all your great insight. I certainly learned a few things. I really like your idea of what you said about Google Maps and the impacts on local market. It's the first time I hear that, and I actually thought it was a great idea. It's a little bit different than what we typically see, and probably is quite effective at reaching, especially on the local jurisdiction where you're trying to build your local market. So I really enjoy some of these things. I will now move over and show you guys a little bit more about Imprimo before passing it back to Grace, who will show us UK Artists. So this is Imprimo. You guys can see my screen or not?
Yes.
Okay, it looks, you guys see this, right? It looks kind of different on my screen for some reason. All right, so this is Imprimo. So when we built Imprimo, our goal was simple, was to try to replicate what the value that we saw, or the relationship, I should say, that we saw between employees, employers, and recruiter on LinkedIn, where we saw artists, art lovers, galleries, and marketplace having a similar relationship, where galleries and marketplace help making the introductions between artists and art lovers, and having a platform where everybody can interact. Now, a lot of these things is not obvious today because we're on a journey. We started just like LinkedIn on the first phase, which is allowing artists to document their journey. We built a series of tools to manage their career more efficiently and so on. But the first page, the home page, what we wanted to do was to provide an opportunity for very easily to see who does this image belong to. So what we've learned when we did hundreds of hours of interviews with collectors or art lovers and so on, we realized that there's a lot of misuse, or people know images are misattributed, or not, not the proper request has been done, and a lot of it came from simply not knowing better. We realize that a lot of people don't even realize that an image or an artwork, it's more an image than an artwork. An image could belong to somebody, right? So we wanted to really easily signal that, hey, this belongs to somebody. This is a creative work, and you should see the different permission. So when you look at the artwork, what we wanted to do is to provide that view without compromising the aesthetic. So when you hover over the image, you can see the avatar, you can see the name of the artist, and you can see the name of the piece. And then you're able to filter by different categories and mediums that shows you, the different type of artwork that you want. This is an infinite scroll. Every time you refresh, you'll see a different view. Now, when looking at an artist profile, the idea here was to give it one snapshot, all the information that you need to see about the artist, kind of like their calling card. It has the ability to replace their website, has the ability to enhance your website, but very simply be able to see everything you want about the artist. And this starts with the avatar. So the avatar, one of the important things that I would say about the avatar is a lot of artists' website do not have any image of themselves, which, probably has a reason for that. Here's our experience of having people not forced, but encouraged to have a picture of themselves. Many artists have told us that since they have an Imprimo profile, they've actually seen a lot more opportunity during physical exhibition, because people were like showing the Imprimo profile, like, that's you. And before, the artist was in the venue, but because there was just a name next to the artwork, they didn't really know who the artist was, and some opportunities were lost. So there's an increased opportunity within the physical exhibition by having the profile picture. Whether you're on Imprimo or not, the concept applies. You should have a visual of yourself. Highly encourage having something with a lot of lights on your face. If you can have it from a profile a little bit, it tends to be better than if your center face. Again, at the end of the day, what's important is don't have a background that's too crowded. We see that a lot. In this case, Patty has a nice clear background. We can see his face, right? It's really easy to see who he is. Sometimes there's like other people or something very distracting in the background. It's very hard to see. So clean, crisp avatar, lots of value being provided. We're already seeing it from many artists, whether you're on Imprimo or any other social platform or your website. Having an image of yourself will go a long way. And then on Imprimo, all artists are verified, meaning there's no bots, there's no bad actor. Everybody is who they pretend to be. When you go on Imprimo, you take a selfie, take a picture of your driver's license. Just like on Airbnb, we match the information, and then you get this verified check mark. Then your information is deleted. We don't have access to it. It's part of the system. It never actually comes to us. So then that's how we go about making sure that the integrity of the data on Imprimo is not corrupted, and we know that we don't have some of the challenge that other platforms have with bots and bad actors. And then we have the cover image. What we heard from collectors, that having a cover image that showcase you at work drives significantly more interest in your career and your work and so on. So encourage artists to do like Patty did here, working on a studio. you want to put your favorite artwork, many artists have chosen that. Our advice is to go and put something like you see here. Then you have here the little billboard. Personally, I would use this to announce, I have this new piece for sale on UK Artists, have a look, right? Or I have this exhibition coming up on this day at that place, come and see me. Alternatively, you can use it the way that Patty did here, which is kind of a quick introduction of himself, a few different options. This should be dynamic. It's one of the first things that you see, as you have different event, publication, exhibition, I would personally use it to share that here. Then you have your bio. Some important part about the bio, a lot of people really focus on the career aspect, which is great, but in reality, collectors wants to know you as a person as well, right? Patty is from Ireland. Is from Ireland. He's an Irish Canadian. He's an Irish Canadian artist. He tells us a little bit more here about his focus, which is, and I know he's on the call today, and I don't want to screw it up, but from my understanding, is there's a big representation of his the environment, the territories, and so on as part of his work. And then we tell us a little bit more about that here. And then you see it as you look at different artwork. And then one that very common mistake that we see is not having your link centralized. So when you look on the Imprimo profile, here you have all your social link. The idea was simple. You land on Imprimo as your permanent presence, and then you adventure to different platform to go and see different things. So they land on Imprimo, they can see your Instagram, your YouTube, different Facebook. Maybe you can see your artist or your UK artist profile here and so on. But in one snapshot, I can see where the different social channel, click on it and go see it. And more importantly, you have the ability to contact the artist. In this case, it says representative. If you're represented exclusively by a gallery, you can set that a message goes to them. You're represented by a dealer, you can go to them. Or if you're representing yourself, this message comes to you. So that's a little bit about the profile. Again, all the concepts that I've explained are fully applicable to any other social platform, any online presence. Having a nice avatar, clear background, lots of lights on your face, very important. Showcasing yourself at work drives engagement into your career. Having a biography that touches on the personal side, people want to get to know you, not just know what you've accomplished as an artist, but who you are as an artist. Centralizing your social link, it is always at the footer. Don't put it at the footer. Nobody clicks there. Make sure it is front and center. And one of the first things that people see, you spend a lot of time building those social links, you want to increase your chance of seeing it. So again, all these advice are applicable everywhere, but we've embedded that on Imprimo for you. And then when you build the CV, what we've done is we want to create something a lot more engaging on what we typically see. So we've added these pluses here. When you click on it, you can see the different artwork that were exhibited. You can see different images of the exhibition. In this case, it was Patty's first exhibition with his daughter Claire. He tells us a little bit more about this here. We have supporting documents. When I look at this, I see Gallery 501. Without really knowing what this gallery is, I'm not sure that I understand the magnitude of this event. But when I click on the little pocket, I can see the different artwork. There's videos, there's images, there's supporting document. And I would say it would be very difficult to understand the magnitude of these pieces and this event before I open the pocket. It's absolutely enormous. It consumes the entire gallery. They're absolutely beautiful installations. And again, we want to drive significantly more engagement in the life cycle, the artistic journey of the artist. So each one of them, you have the ability to add different type of evidence. So two folds, one, we wanted to drive engagement in the artist's career, but we also wanted to elevate the trust in the provenance event. Did Patty exhibit at Gallery 501? While giving the evidence we're being provided with, it'd be hard to debate that one, right? And that was the idea. When I touch on the artwork record, so an artwork record looks like this. The very first thing you'll see is you have I don't know what happened here. We have the ability to add multiple images. Grace touched on it, the importance of showing different angle, the depth. We see in the sculpture installation, it's a no-brainer because you can see all the images, but even the one that Grace showed us, where you can see the paint, right, and the thickness and the layers and all that, that does drive a lot of interest. It's important to have, multiple angle, not just one still image. So it brings a lot of value. You have all the metadata associated with the work and what the work is available for. So going back to my attribution that we want to do is, very quickly, you land on the image, you can see this image belongs to Patty Lame, and this is what I can and cannot do with it. If I'm interested, I click on the box, and then I'm able to contact him, the same format does before. Now, being, Imprimo being born out of the rights management organizations, we want to help artists protect their rights. So what we do is we record the name of the artist, the name of the work, the metadata associated with the work, the copywriter or the copyright year, and all that is timestamped on the blockchain. For those of you who don't know what the blockchain is, I'll make it simple, although it can be complicated. We use it as a very simple use. Blockchain is a spreadsheet where every entry is permanent and is visible and transparent and visible to everybody. The value of this is that, if we entered a creation claim, in this case, Patty Lamb has created this in 2016, that's being timestamped. If someone was to say, hey, I don't believe that Patty Lamb is the rightful creator, he can point back at this data that says, hey, I was timestamped at that time, which cannot be a change after the fact. So that's a big part of the value. The Imprimo website is set to encourage the artists to build evidence of their creation claim. And that starts with our next phases here, which is the creation story. The creation story, when we talked to collectors, they told us that's their favorite part, is to share the story of the artist, of the artwork, with their friends, family, their co-collector. Yet that story did not reside anywhere. It was told by the artist at the time of sale. Hopefully they write it down. They probably don't, right? And then the story was disappear forever. In the primary market, it's a decent problem. In the secondary market, it's a big problem because that story completely disappears. And when a piece is passed from one person to another, now if they're lucky, if they get the name of the artist, let alone the name of the artwork, the story never makes its way there. So we wanted to create something that was permanent. Where the piece is sold, you can come back and learn the story. You have videos, different images of the process, the material. There's a description that you can have that really highlights the emotional relationship, the process and material that you've used to create this piece. And as we start at the inception, now we move down the life cycle, and the artwork timeline is basically, we want to encourage artists to share publicly the provenance event and hope to try to carve the administrative burden that comes on galleries and museum of always tracking these provenance events, and of allowing artists to showcase the evidence of their creation, right, publicly. So if someone was wondering, does Patty to create this, we're being provided this evidence. So we have the same function of clicking on the plus that shows the different evidence of each different event. And when you provide evidence, this red bubble appeared that signaled to the buyers that you have provided evidence. Now, once again, we see my gallery 501 comes up here. What we've done is we've linked the artwork timeline to the CV. Therefore, if you keep your artwork record up to date, we have completely eliminated the process of putting your CV up to date. It is up to date in real time for you. And that was a big part that we're trying to do for artists. Now, we did a couple other things for the artists. So when you come here, we build these certificate of creation. They're automatically generated. I'll just do that again. You go to my artwork, you click on your artwork, then there's a certificate button here. I click on it, and then the certificate appears, which has all the metadata associated with the work and the blockchain registration, but more importantly, has the QR code. And what the QR code does, I'll give you two different use cases. If you're sending your piece from gallery to gallery, you can put that in the back of the artwork. They scan the QR code, and all the information that they want is there. You no longer have to send emails with all that information over and over again. They may still request original photos, but I lost it. A lot of the data is available there. The second use case is when the piece changed from hand to hand. When Grace sold her piece to me and I sell it to Aiden, now Aiden has a certificate of creation. He scans the QR code and he learns the exact same story that I learned from the gate, which really helps elevate and uphold the value of an artwork. And then we heard from artists that the QR code, they thought was valuable. They wanted to use it during an exhibition. So you can just print it. You click the button I did, disappears, you print, and then you can use it next to your artwork. The value of this is twofold. One, it drives a lot more interest in the piece by learning the story. It changes the conversation completely, right? We've heard from artists that, they got a lot more in-depth conversations, a lot more questions after the public was able to learn that. That was one. And two, the second thing is that's where when I mentioned about people showing the phone, being like, that's you, that's how that happened. They show the QR code, they scan it, they can see the face of the artist, and then they start having inquiries. So we saw two types of inquiries that happened from that. People have had the inquiries within the venue, and a lot of artists have said that when you use the QR code, they've seen more messages come in of inquiry than they actually seen in real life, which is a completely net new. So those are some of the different things that we've done for artists. A couple other things that we've done, and I want to make sure, I don't even know if I have some ready here. So when we talked about the CVs, yeah, I do. So we created some custom CVs. We heard from artists. I apply for all kinds of different shows. Some of them, it's a 2-page, 3-page, 10-page CV, right? And it's always working on this, which is a nightmare. You can come here, you can create as many CVs as you want. Right, you can have your full CV, that is your one that you showcase on Imprimo, and you can have as many subset as you want, so that very quickly you can come, oh, I have to apply 2-page, here's my 2-pager, I press it, I download it, I can download it in a PDF or a downloadable format, and then here we go, I'm ready to go, I can submit that. So the idea was to, reduce the amount of admin that's required when doing these different application. You also may want to, of course I didn't create one, you may also want to share your collection. I'll show you one. I'll build one right now. So you start building your collection. Maybe I want to build a collection that has all my painting, but I want to separate my sculpture. So then I come and I say painting, and then you have the options here. That's important. Who is it visible for? Maybe you want to do it for yourself to just organize yourself. Maybe I want to make it visible to the public. I want to reorganize my collections so that it looks a little bit like what Patty did here. He has his installation. I click on it, and then I can see the detail and all the different artworks. So you have the ability to reorganize it like that. You may also want to go and then reorganize your work, but for a different purpose. Maybe you want to apply for a gallery or for a show, and you want to organize your work in a certain way, but it's not really relevant to the audience, but it's relevant to the specific show. So you can create what we call private collection, which is only visible if you share this link. So you click this button here, and then a link will appear, and you can share the link with them, and then they'll find your collection privately. So again, the idea was to help the process of applying for grants and galleries and so on by reorganizing your work under collection and share it privately with these parties. So that's a few things that we've built. Now I want to show you, we talked about how to sell your work. Like I said, on Imprimo, you cannot sell. However, we are working on coordinating that effort, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. I'm not an artist, so you're not going to see my work, but I'll walk you through the functionality. I come on Imprimo, I built my record, and then I go to rights and use, and I say, I want to sell my work, original sales for work. I click the box, and I drop the link that I have for UK artists. In this case, I'll just use one of your artists, Grace. Is my profile is not shown publicly, but I'll show you guys what it looked like. It would look like this. Now there's a buy button on Imprimo, right? I click the buy button, and I'm transported over to UK Artists Online, where I can buy the artwork. So very, very simply, you work with our UK Artists Online. They're great at what they do, which is the sales aspect. They help you. We touch a lot on that, and then very quickly you can signal to your users that this piece is for sale, and when they're interested, they click the link, and then they land on the appropriate record on artwork on UK artists to be able to buy the piece. So that's a little bit about Imprimo. I could probably keep talking for a long time, but I want to pass it now over to Grace to tell us a little bit more about UK Artists. Maybe take us through the platform. We touched on a few things a while ago on, I think what we would like to see is especially like the terminal aspect. What does that look like? And then from there, we will go and we will answer everybody's questions.
Okay, right, I'll share my screen. Okay, so can everyone see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, great. So this is our homepage. Yeah, so one of the main things here is the search box. If someone's looking for something in particular, they will put it in, and we encourage artists to put the keywords in so that they get picked up easily. Also gets picked up by the artist's name, and the piece of work, that the title as well. So on our homepage at the moment, we've got our winter video. The spring one is nearly finished. So that will be going on very shortly. Yeah, people could just go straight to browsing all art. So yeah, click on that one. Yeah, so just all the art comes up at random, really. Yeah, so let's go back to the home page. Here we kind of put our collections, also our featured artists in this section here. Then all the latest work comes up here. So if you put your artwork for sale, it will automatically come onto the home page. So these are the artists that have just added their new work. And yeah, then you can, if anyone wants to see more, they can go to more. And then we have the artists come up quite random again. So every time you click on the home page, there will be different artists on here. So everyone gets, you know, a fair crack at being seen on the home page. Then we've got our testimonials to show, you know, people, you know, like what we're sending, what, you know, what we have on the site. Yeah, we've got good reputation on Trustpilot. Yeah, so yeah, that's the home page. Then about us, that's just shows some of our team. There's me, obviously. Jan Lucas, he's just retired, so we do have a new web developer, but he's busy doing our new membership options at the moment, so he hasn't sent us his photo yet. Tammy, she's one of our artists. She's a, you know, great curator and helps with curating our shows. Yeah, she writes blogs for us as well. Yes, great artist too. And this is Carl. He helps with, you know, our shows. We have an annual show each year with prizes, physical shows. So we're not just totally online. Yeah, this year we're going to be in Leamington. Last year we were in Aldeburgh in Suffolk. It's a fantastic show. Here's Millie. She's our social media manager. She's, you know, good with Facebook and Instagram and getting our name known on the social media. Serena, she helps at art fairs. Yeah, we was at Fresh at Cheltenham the other year. So yeah, we do that as well. I think it also helps, you know, to be kind of physically seen as well as just being online. Yeah, that tells us a bit about the beginnings. I've already told you about that. Awards we've had, exhibitions. Yeah, so that's just about us really. And then this is the artist page for someone's looking for a particular artist. So again, they come up at random, so anybody can be seen. Yeah, so, you know, we don't like to have like favorite artists or, you know, popular artists. You know, we like everybody to have a fair crack of the whip. So here you can find a particular artist if you're looking for someone that you know, or see if they're on the site. Also, you can, if you know, a visitor wants somebody local, they can also search locally for the artist, or a bit further afield, you know, in their region. Or they can search by category of art if they're looking for a particular type of artist. Yeah, so they can combine these as well, you know, to, you know, get exactly what they're looking for really. So that's our artists. Bottom, you can go straight to the top again there. So here we've got art for sale. People are looking directly for art for sale rather than an artist to commission. Then yeah, here again we have like different categories, so they can choose a category there, or we have all these filters. Artist county, this is the new one for the art for sale subject. They're looking for a particular subject. style of art, medium the artist working in, size, shape, colour, and price. So yeah, you can kind of use these all in combination with each other to get specifically something that you're looking for. So our next page is art exhibitions. Here the artists can put their own exhibitions on, and they come up here. Yeah, you can kind of search for an exhibition in your region to go and visit. So yes, it's a nice thing for artists to be able to do. And we pick these up for our newsletter then and send it out to our mailing list. Then we have a blog. Yeah, so this one's by Tammy. Yeah, we also have blogs on particular artists as well. Yeah, lots of blog posts there. Gift vouchers, that's very popular. People like to buy a gift voucher if, you know, they're buying for someone and don't know what kind of art they like. And then, you know, we can get contact here, address, telephone, all our social media. And so that's basically the view for from a customer's sort of point of view. I can show you the workings then. See if I log in. So if I show you mine, yeah, so this is like this is my main menu, so you can easily find what you want to do. I mean, when somebody joins, we do send them out a word with everything written down, how to use UK Artists. Some people like it, some people don't need it. It's quite intuitive really, and you can download instructions there if you want to. So this goes, you know, if you want to view your own page, you can do that. So there's my art profile, my different kind of art. Here you change your password, edit your profile. So here you can, if you've been to college, you've got letters after your name, you can put that there, and that will show up on your profile. So go back there. So that's mainly like for us. So we can contact you, and that shows up also on the contact page here for an artist. This way you put your statement. I say it's quite, you know, quite straightforward really. Put all that in. You can preview it. CV, same. Upload an artist image. It's the portrait image that you'll see on your page, on your artist page. And then there's a lead-in image as well, and that image is the one that goes on to like the random artists on the home page. You'll see that there. This is where you add your artwork. So fill your title, category, which is like whether it's a painting or glass art or whatever it is, put the size in. Yeah, so just fill these out as much as you can do really. I mean, you haven't got to fill it all in, but the more you put in, the better really, because you're more likely to get found then, especially the description and the keywords in particular, to get your piece of work found. Here you can change a piece of artwork. So you just go to the artwork you want to change. So I want to change Enter the Dragon. Then you can make any changes. You can manage images there. But also, one good feature we have is if you've got a lot of like artwork that's pretty much similar, then you can copy an artwork. So if you want to copy, say, Force to be Reckoned With, then all you need to do is change the title and make any other changes that's needed, and then just add the images. So that saves a lot of time if you've got a lot of similar artwork or similar sizes. And this is where you put your exhibitions in, so you can have it if you've got an exhibition history. Let's click on that. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like that on the website, but that's basically it. Yeah, this is where you add your current exhibitions. So I just showed you that page of our exhibitions, and you can change them there as well and log out.
Can you show us where, let's just say an artist comes in and when the buyer comes and purchase a piece, what happened? Did the artist receive a message? Is there, is it within the platform? Is it outside the platform?
Yeah, the artist will be contacted by email and also by text message. So they receive that that message that they've sold a piece of work, and then they just let us know that they've received the message and that the artwork is for sale still, which hopefully it is. And then they let us know then when it's all packaged and ready to be shipped, and then we let the buyer know it's on its way. Yeah, so we keep in contact with the buyer.
Got it.